let's talk a little bit about Extreme Rules, and
We have
I'm
to.
going to start with this basically to prove Matt wrong.
Okay.
Peacock had some issues on Sunday.
So, have you ever like heard of the torture technique where you make a person listen to two songs at the same time, like
No, but that
two
sounds terrible.
two different songs, one in each ear, playing at the same time. So Peacock did that during the pre-show with English, Spanish, and then French commentary.
See, I didn't get the French on mine.
Oh, I got it all, baby.
I had the English and Spanish, and then Charlie, no, you can't get the network.
You can.
Well, you can. If you invest in
you have to get a VPN.
Yes.
And then you have to change your VPN to a country outside of the United States. And then once you do that, you can sign up for the network again. And the network is there. Now, with most modern VPNs, you can connect your streaming devices to it. Like I believe you can push your VPN to your Roku or your Apple TV. I watch on Apple TV. You could push it to your console, because a lot of people nowadays use VPNs for like video gaming, where they want to mask where their internet is.
Makes sense.
And
it's a security thing,
right,
as well, because then people can't trace your IP address.
And the only reason why I don't have a VPN yet is, I was going
to say, I'm actually kind of surprised that you don't.
My thing is I don't know who to go with. Like, NordVPN is like the standard, but that's also like super mega expensive. Like, let me look.
Here's friends.
NordVPN right now.
I'll say that I've heard of that.
Yeah, you can get 72% off on a 2-year plan for $3.30 a month. But wow. I don't think you get to pay $3.30 a month.
Do you have to pay it all up front?
You pay $98 up front.
Gotcha.
Now that deal,
I'm too lazy to do it.
Well, let me see. Can I? Oh no! Why is it telling me to get the pass premium? I don't want that. Securely store, organize your passwords. I don't want that. Okay, so you have to pay for it all up front.
Okay.
So your 2-year plan, if you were to get 2 years of NordVPN right now for the next 9 hours, it's 72% off. It's normally $322. It's down to $89. And with sales tax in my state, it comes out to $94.34.
See, and that's my point, Charlie.
Now, would you pay?
Requires way too much effort.
But if the cock want to act wrong some more,
it don't even bother me.
I
don't pay for the cock.
That's very true. You don't.
Like, that's
I have to pay. I have to.
Right, like you have to pay for it. I mean,
so
do you want to use my cock?
I would love to use somebody's.
I'll let
cock.
you use my cock.
I'd love to put my hands on somebody's cock. That's fine. I'll put my eyes on somebody's cock. That's fine. So let me tell you all my first world problems, folks.
Here we go. I love first world problems.
So Timbo has recently fallen into a little bit more money per paycheck than he used to. So also during this same time, Tim also realized that Hulu, who I use for live television, has now officially. So at first, when Disney Plus and ESPN Plus came out,
Yeah.
They had the Hulu bundle with those streaming services,
Yeah.
but not if you had the live TV package. So if you had Hulu with live TV, you could not bundle Disney Plus and ESPN Plus.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
So now that, again, Timmy is very grateful and thankful to be making more money every paycheck, I did some research because I was looking to possibly do unlimited screens on Hulu.
Okay, gotcha. Because that can be a pain.
That can be a pain. So that would cost an extra $10 a month. And then I saw that there's a bundle for Shundle where I can do the live TV with the Hulu and the Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. I don't
Okay.
currently have ESPN Plus.
Gotcha.
Currently do not have ESPN.
You'll be happy to be able to watch the NHL this season.
I would if I watched one game of the NHL this season, it would be one more game I've watched in probably the last 8 seasons.
Oh man,
at least.
It's just, it's going to take a lot for me to get used to hockey being on ESPN and ABC and TNT this year.
So I'm now thinking about canceling my current Disney Plus subscription to then bundle it plus multiple screens plus the enhanced cloud DVR plus the sports package to get Red Zone.
Gotta have that Red Zone. Gotta have that Red Zone.
At least until January, and then it can go away.
Well, sure. I'm in the same boat. Like Big Jim, is back to being an adult.
He can splurge a little bit.
Having a job, you can do things that you weren't able to do when unemployed.
Yeah.
So we got the extra sports package this year to get the Red Zone.
And Charlie's over here. Charlie's over here making fun of me. And I'm just gonna let him know. We usually have 5 people here. Making radio is a little bit easier when you got 5 people.
Yeah.
Some of us gotta talk a little more right now.
Yeah, Devin said this. I'm so used to Peacock now. I have to admit, miss WWE Network, but I'm used to the cock now.
Yeah,
it's and here's
Peacock
the thing.
Is good. Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't watched as much WWE stuff on Peacock that I used to on the network. Like I'm way behind on Broken Skull Sessions. I did watch the Austin and Rollins one from Sunday, which I really enjoyed. But then I haven't seen the Lashley one. I haven't seen the Orton one. I'm definitely behind on a couple of those, but I haven't watched as much stuff that I did on when I still had the network. But I have tons of other stuff, and I just started watching Ted Lasso too, by the way. We watched the first episode last night. That's fantastic. So I'm going to I'm gonna be working my way through that. So like basically what I use Peacock for is WWE pay-per-views. Notre Dame's first game of the season was exclusively on Peacock. And I was watching back through old episodes of Chicago Fire because I hadn't watched the show from the beginning. So I just was catching up on some storyline pieces that I had missed from the start of the show. Like I just don't use it a lot. So it's very simple for me to open the cock and click on this past Sunday, the Extreme Rules logo, and I'm right there. Yeah, I didn't get I had the Spanish commentary. I didn't get the French. But like I honestly admit I don't understand. I don't know how those issues happen, but like I don't understand how that issue happens. Like with what happened, was it Money in the it was Money in the Bank. It was the first pay-per-view back with fans when the Peacock died for like 15 minutes. Like those sort of things can happen. Week 1 of the NFL season, the Red Zone channel, not the DirecTV one, the one that goes out to everybody else, died for about 8 minutes. is it Scott Hansen, Steve Hansen, whatever the Hansen that is on the Red Zone channel.
Not Chris Hansen.
Not Chris Hansen. That's the Catch a Predator guy.
Come on, have a seat.
Yeah, if you walk in, you see a gray-haired man with a bowl of fruit sitting by him, you're in trouble, buddy. But like Steve Hansen,
stack of papers at your chat log.
We'll call him Steve Hansen.
I think it's Scott.
Was Scott Hansen was just frozen, and it was dead for like 8 minutes. So like those sort of things can happen. Should they? No, but they do. I don't understand how you get in the English and the Spanish commentary both coming through, and how it's not like the simplest fix ever. That's what I don't understand. So and then the commercials popping up in entrances as well, just at random, like Alexa Bliss's entrance comes on, and then I'm having a commercial for like, I don't know, Cialis or something. Whatever.
I haven't had that happen on the live events.
This was the first time, and it happened multiple times, and literally all I had to do was X out of it and then go back into it, and it was fine. Now, do you have the commercial free cock, or do you have the commercial cock?
I have commercial cock.
Okay, because I wondered if that was part of it too. Is like they just pigeonholed commercials in for people. So I don't know what was going on. It's not a great look. Like I just don't understand how those sort of things happen. But like, yeah, and for the WWE, it's kind of one of those things that we kind of predicted this was going to be the way it was going to be. Is like WWE just washes their hands of it because it's a Peacock issue. It's not a WWE issue anymore.
Right.
So they're just, it's like, well, people are having problems at Peacock TV on Twitter,
Yeah, like that's literally.
I just don't get how it happens.
It's lack of oversight, I guess. Like there may not be any QA involved, or maybe they're meeting their standards. Like what's to say that what they're providing is an acceptable service? Like who knows what Peacock and NBC Universal and the likes call a quality viewing experience. Now,
sure,
I personally would love to be able to pause and rewind live television or live events.
Okay.
Or at least pause. I would love to be able to start from beginning in the middle of a live event. But
the pause thing, at least the pause and maybe the rewind as well, because we do kind of live in like a DVR world. That's kind of surprising that it's not there. I think it was the first WWE show that was on Peacock when people were like up in arms that you couldn't start from the beginning, and people brought up a really good point. And I get it's maybe a little bit different than like if you if you turn on the Super Bowl, if you come home and you turn your TV on in the Super Bowl Sunday and they're 2 minutes into the second quarter, you don't turn on CBS and are able to start from the beginning. Or like if I don't even know if like when you have like an AEW pay-per-view or an Impact pay-per-view or a New Japan, if when you start them, I don't think you can start those from the beginning. So like, yes, it was a nice feature that the network had, but it's not a feature that I think is necessarily recognized across the board. So like maybe that's why, and just because it's within the Peacock system versus the WWE network system,
right?
Devin says, I think they added that because I was able to pause and rewind Sunday for the pay-per-view. Also, maybe they did that. I haven't tried.
I haven't either. To be fair,
if anybody else has tried it, feel free to chime in as well. But yeah, the and like for me, I feel like there's only so much complaining that I can really do, or that I feel like I care to get wound up about, because I don't pay for it. Like I have Xfinity, so it just comes with my cable and internet service. Like if this sort of stuff would happen, if like when I pay for a AEW pay-per-view or an Impact pay-per-view, or if I would get like a UFC pay-per-view or something, then I'd probably be a little bit more pissed because I have more money invested into it. I
Right.
literally have no extra money invested in these pay-per-views that air on Peacock with the WWE.
For sure.
Jason just checked. Did some people get voted off the island? 2-man booth. Yeah, they're all in suspension. They're all
Yes.
suspended. But looking at the show, the biggest thing that got some people talking was the Universal title, the finish. You know, you had Ballard, you had the Demon dead to rights. You had to use the red light budget now that the Fiend is gone.
Yeah, there's no
yeah.
premium on that anymore.
You had to use the red light and spooky budget. Comes back to life. Seems like he's turning into an ass kicker, ready to win it all, ready to end the reign of the tribal chief. And the top rope breaks. The Demon crashes to the ring. Reigns hits the I don't remember if it was the spear or the Superman punch, probably the spear, gets the win. And people were out of their mind about the finish to the match. Now, do I think it was silly? Sure. But like, what about wrestling? What about characters? A lot of characters that we see. What about all of that? Isn't there a degree of silliness to it and unbelievability? Like, I mean, so we're okay. This is the part where it breaks down for me. And I'm not saying this was the best way to end this match. I'm not saying that it was the best way for the Demon to lose one of like his only like third losses in the WWE. But like, we're okay believing that a man has like an alter ego that like possesses him when he needs to, that's like dead to rights, and then the lights turn red and his music starts playing and he starts slapping the club all over the floor because he's flailing around, and he's all of a sudden he's hulking up, and then he gets on
with his entrance music playing in the background the entire time.
Right. So the music's playing, and then we're totally okay with that. That's totally believable, 100% within the realm of possibility. But somehow, when the rope breaks, and the guy he's still a human man,
he's still he's still like 190 pounds.
190-pound human man falls from 12 feet in the air onto the mat. That like that it's not believable that he would at least get distracted and Reigns would get the win. Like, I like in the finish, that's fine, but like, can we stop trying to break down the believability of what happened in the closing minutes of that match?
Well, to play devil's advocate, in the same corner earlier that night, Sheamus was standing on the top rope doing the Jeff Hardy stuff. So he is bouncing up and down on the top rope, and he is fine.
Yeah, he weakened the top rope.
I'll get the hell out of here.
That is a big man. That is a large Celtic warrior on that top rope.
Okay.
You don't think that got loose? Big men aren't supposed to be up there.
In the history of your time as a wrestling fan, how many times have you seen the top rope break at the buckle?
One.
That was extreme. Oh no, he just pulled the front thing off.
Are you sure?
It broke at the back.
I thought Yokozuna pulled the whole thing off the post.
I don't remember. I don't think he did. I think he pulled that ish off.
But like,
yeah, that was Free for All 1996. What event was that?
It was the Gund Arena, right? It was the same night as the Boiler Room Brawl.
So that was SummerSlam. Oh, you're 96.
Right. He pulled the front part off.
Yeah, he pulls the front part off.
Shit.
So but
So it's literally the first time that we've seen it.
first time in the history of ever. Second time if you count an 800-pound man ascending the ropes, and he is pulling on the turnbuckle to get on the second rope. So an 800-pound Yokozuna breaks it, or a 190-pound demon-possessed man does it, standing on the top rope.
Oh man!
Now you say 12 feet in the air.
Yeah, isn't it 12 feet in the air?
No,
How high are those ropes?
it's 12 feet in the air from the top to the floor.
Is it?
Not
right.
the canvas.
Tim, I want to see you drop 5 feet. Well, you're also a bigger man than Finn
I
Balor.
would drop 5 feet. I could drop 5 feet.
And at least not be stunned by it. Like if you weren't ready for it. Oh man, I wish I could find this.
Wrestling's fake, Jim.
Well, that's you're right.
I get that, like, the Fiend in suspending your disbelief. I get that, like, the Fiend gets startled, or not the Fiend, the demon gets startled. The music cuts off. Finn's real life ish happens, and then he gets speared and smashed and stacked and pinned. I get that. My problem is all of that put together, man. Like, you can't have Finn Balor go on the run of all runs, beat up every Samoan in the history of Samoa, like shotgun drop kick people through tables, beat up both of the Usi Juicies. He beat up 3 Weeda ones, and then he goes to the top rope, and the weight and power of the demon collapses the top rope on all 4 corners. Excuse me.
I saw a great tweet on Sunday, and it was something like WWE just needs to come out and be like, it was the sheer weight of Finn Balor's dick that caused the top rope to break.
My question is, how heavy is the demon?
Well, that's right. We don't know.
What is the metric weightage of the demon?
Exactly. We don't know. He's got kabuki-ish powers, man.
This is also the first time we've ever seen the demon possess Finn Balor enough to have him hump the ground.
Right?
So
there was supernatural forces at play.
He could have reached an ascended level of demonism here.
And it just broke?
And it broke the top rope. Now, with all that said, that was horrible. Almost as horrible as Alexa Bliss crying about Lily.
Her best friend's dead.
Stop it. Nia Jax is fine. Larry the Pig is dead.
Lexi Kaufman's best friend.
That's Larry the Pig. Larry the Pig is absolutely dead.
Oh,
Larry Steve. Sorry, Larry Steve.
Man.
Larry Steve is dead. But Lily, okay, cool. Crying my beer, wino. I hate it. I didn't.
The worst. Now we'll talk about maybe like what it means, because I've heard she's gonna have time off. She has some sinus surgery or something that she needs.
I think she's getting married.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, isn't she just got engaged, right?
She's been engaged to Ryan Cabrera for a while.
Like,
and they just had the People magazine deal where they did like the bedroom shoot where she's like, hey, we're all cute because he whatever. I don't know.
So like, okay, so like the part that blew me away, and I thought this on Sunday.
Just one thing. Okay.
Well, like, okay, so she does well, because when she got thrown over the table, I saw her go under the table. I'm like, oh. I'm like, why the fuck's she going under the table? What the fuck's happening? Why is Alexa Bliss going under the table, right? So then all of a sudden she starts like throwing a shit fit, and then she gets to the top of the ramp, or the lack of ramp. She gets to stage, and there's an Alka-Seltzer tablet. So I'm like, oh, okay, so she got the gimmick, but she forgot the juice. Okay, I get it. But I'm sitting there going, Kevin Dunn cuts cameras like he just like he's applauding. The one time Kevin Dunn holds a camera shot is when you can see the Alka-Seltzer tablet in her mouth. what are we doing here? How did nobody look at that and then instantly cut the camera?
We're waiting for effect.
Like,
We're
holy
waiting. We're holding.
hold for effect. Hold for effect. It's gonna start
So,
bubbling. That's not how it works.
so I mentioned this on Final Wrestling, or not on Final Wrestling Place. I mentioned it on Viewer's Choice with Alexa Bliss took Icebox's place in the huddle of the Little Giants, and the little kid goes, he's got the stuff in his hands. He goes, "Here, buddy, take this." And they ask what it's for, and he goes, "Intimidation." Arr! And she does it, and there's no intimidation. There's
No.
she couldn't do it.
Man. Like,
Yeah. So like that,
dude, like, just how do you hold that camera shot? Brutal.
you have to think that when they did this in they had to have tried this in pre-tapes.
Absolutely.
Right? So they do it in pre-tapes, and she goes underneath the table. She takes the Alka-Seltzer, plop, plop, fizz, fizz, right?
Sure.
That's the deal.
Maybe, what a relief it is. Absolutely.
Right. And the relief is, oh, God, this shot's great. This is good shit, pal. And so
look at all that white stuff. It's just foaming right out of her mouth.
She's just frothing at the mouth like a rabid dog. And she... And then, so they're like, oh, this is great. We can take all these shots. We got everything programmed. Let's just run it. And she does it, and she misses a spot. She misses a step somewhere. Maybe the first time she had a bottle of water and it activated stuff.
Something. And I mean, you're also taking into account that, like, not that it would have made the biggest difference in the world, but like, she just wrestled a match.
She could have had cotton mouth like a motherfucker.
A little bit dry mouth. So like, it's you know, you need the plop to get the fizz, and there was no plop with a dry mouth.
I mean, now that she's Alexa Blunt, she could
right. See, that's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah. So okay, so let's believe the reports that she has some time off.
She's going away.
Is the death of Lily, the decapitating of the doll, the unstuffing of the doll, and her going away, is this the easy out to have a quote unquote normal Alexa Bliss upon return?
No. This is enough time to sew the doll back together and make it uglier. And then she comes back even more possessed. And then we get Alexa Blitz.
That's where she comes out with a shoulder pad.
The Icebox. She becomes Icebox from Little Giants. She does the intimidation spot. She comes back and she's wearing football pads with the cheerleader outfit on. And she's just smashing fools. She uses the spear and the spear only.
Love
just it. Crushing fools. Like
just dismantling people.
Full head of steam, just like put her on jacked up. She's just jacking people up. Sending it.
Love it. All right, the show as a whole, it was fine. It kept me reasonably entertained on a Sunday night. Here's the deal: it was it was better than expected,
for sure.
But I didn't expect it to be much at all. So
exactly.
So, like, if you come in expecting nothing, there's only one way to go.
For sure.
Like, if this would have been a great build, a great card, then it would have been different. But I watched it because it's what I do.
Right.
And it was better than expected. The match we didn't even get to predict because it wasn't added when we talked about this a week ago. I really liked the opener.
The six-man.
The six-man was good. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It's not like, I know everybody plays like the game like the day after Raw or the day after whatever. You know, oh, is there anything I had to see last night? There was nothing I think you had to see on this show.
Right.
But like, if you watched it, I don't think, I'd be hard pressed to say that like you would be grossly disappointed by this show.
For sure. It felt like a really good episode of TV.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know,
and unfortunately we haven't been getting that a lot, so it's something to behold.
And I mean, I actually think the last couple weeks of Raw have been better. Now, again, we're when you're comparing it to some of the things as bad as it's been, over the summer, that may not be saying a lot, but I think Raw feels like it's heading in a good direction, which is great because you're getting into the time when you shake the entire roster up again. But we'll get to the draft in a little